Joining us, well, Environment Canada has now confirmed that a tornado did touch down in the town of Leamington early this morning. The town of about 30,000 is about a 4 hours drive from Toronto, near the shore of Lake Erie to the southeast of Windsor. That's where Laura Zilke spent the day as residents trying to make sense out of the destruction.
Until this morning, this street was called the scenic route. The scene now, after an incredible storm, is one of complete devastation.
It was incredible as far as my wife couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, to see something like this. It was basically nothing left of all these big trees.
Residents in this small southern Ontario town woke this morning around 3 o'clock to unrecognizable sounds.
There's a huge clap of thunder, and it felt like things were coming apart. And then water was coming into the bedroom right here. And it was total blackout.
Winds whipped trees into homes and snapped power lines as the storm cut a swath along the shore of Lake Erie. Everyone seems in awe of Mother Nature's power.
It is devastating, and I think it's going to hit. My daughter said she's kind of in shock yet, too. It's going to hit later.
The worst part for many residents here is not the hours and hours of work that is yet to come, but the loss of history. Many of these trees are centuries old.
Well, we lost all the maple trees here, so.
It's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rick McGregor grew up in this house.
Up there, the whole thing off the roof.
His late father built it himself 60 years ago. The sound that dominates these streets, chainsaws. The friends and family of homeowners all pitching in just to clear roads and driveways. Once the trees are cut, in come the front-end loaders. The soil is particularly sandy here, making the wind's job of lifting the roots right out of the ground an easy one. There were no deaths and only a few minor injuries. A state of emergency has been declared in the area. Local politicians say it's too early to say what that might mean in terms of financial help with the cleanup.
There will be some federal responsibility too, and whatever that is, we're going to find out what that is and make sure that the people here get what they need.
Right now, it's manpower that is needed most of all. Laura Zilke, Global News.
Now, while there was no deaths in Leamington, people on the U.S. side of Lake Erie weren't so lucky. Authorities in northwest Ohio say 5 people were killed by a tornado overnight, including a 4-year-old. And in nearby Michigan, 11 people were injured when a storm struck there. A spokesperson says the storm damaged a nuclear power plant, prompting an automatic shutdown. And here in Toronto, heavy rain pounded the city during the overnight hours. By the time the storm stopped, more than 20 millimeters had fallen. And still speaking with the weather, let's sort of to Bill Coulter. And Bill, with the situation down in Leamington, speculation was going back and forth between whether it was a tornado or a downburst, but now it might be a bit of both, right?
Yeah, very complex series of storm systems moving through. And, tornadoes sort of vortex inflow, a downburst, there's this enormous updraft holding up the rain, and there comes a point where the storm can't support that anymore, and it all sort of drops out the bottom, and the winds hit the ground, compress, and you get a very strong and powerful gust of wind. That's a downburst. And it looks like both might have happened, but they're going to send a team back tomorrow morning to Leamington to continue to survey the damage. But it looks like an F1 tornado just west of Leamington down to the shoreline of Lake Erie, and that's because of this pretty powerful late spring storm that rolled by just to the south of the Lower Lakes, and enough spin there to allow one of those very strong thunderstorms to spin up a tornado. So again, we'll continue to bring you that.